On December 11, Time Magazine's editors will announce its Person of the Year. Right now, the magazine has an online reader poll with a wide range of suggestions. I have my own choice, which I'll reveal in just a moment.
I've considered until now that Michael Smerconish has been probably the sanest of all the CNN hosts. Now, I know that's not saying much, but at least it's something. However, I think I'm going to have to do a severe reappraisal of my opinion of Smerconish. And a reason for this is that yesterday on his CNN show, he actually had a very strange suggestion for who should be the Time Magazine Person of the Year. And it turns out that possibly, or maybe probably, Smerconish is just as far gone as the rest of his CNN TDS cultists. Let's take a look.
My choice is a group 2, but it's not one listed on their site. I vote for the Diplomats. William Taylor, George Kent, Marie Yovanovitch, Alexander Vindman, Jennifer Williams, Kurt Volker, Tim Morrison, Gordon Sunland, Laura Cooper, David Hale, Fiona Hill, and David Holmes. For these past 2 weeks of impeachment hearings, the nation was captivated by these civil servants who usually go about their jobs in anonymity. So that's who gets my vote, the Diplomats. They felt it was their patriotic duty, their moral duty to come forward, some of them after being specifically directed not to, and reveal what they heard, what they saw, what they knew about the controversial policy actions regarding aid to Ukraine. They had to put up with attacks from people with much more name recognition, including the president himself. They have earned my vote as Time's Person of the Year for 2019.
So Smerconish wants a bunch of gossiping diplomats to take down a president via impeachment based on nothing more than second and third hand hearsay. To see just how ridiculous this is, let's watch how quickly one of those diplomats, the very authoritative sounding Ambassador William Taylor, crumbles under just a bit of critical questioning.
Let me read it one more time. Ambassador Taylor recalls that Mr. Morrison told Ambassador Taylor that I told Mr. Morrison that I conveyed this message to Mr. Yarmouk on September 1st, 2019 in connection with Vice President Pence's visit to Warsaw and a meeting with President Zelensky. We got 6 people having 4 conversations in one sentence, and you just told me this is where you got your clear understanding. Ambassador, you weren't on the call, were you? You didn't listen on President Trump's call and President Zelensky's call?
I did not.
You've never talked with Chief of Staff Mulvaney?
I never did.
You never met the president?
That's correct.
This is what I can't believe, and you're their star witness. You're their first witness.
Mr.
You're
Jordan,
the guy. You're the guy based on this, I mean, I've seen church prayer chains that are easier to understand than this.
let me just say that I don't consider myself a star witness for anything.
They do. You don't.
No,
They
I
do.
don't. I'm responding to your question.
Please don't interrupt the witness. Ambassador, you testified about a number of things that you heard. Isn't it possible that the things that you heard were not true? That some of the beliefs and understandings that you had are not accurate?
Mr. Turner, I am here to tell you what I know. I'm not going to tell you anything I don't know. I'm going to tell you everything that I do know.
But since you learned it from others, you could be wrong, correct?
People make mistakes.
Right, so you could be wrong.
And now let's look at the equally ridiculous gossiping hearsay artist, Ambassador Gordon Sunland, and how he also crumbles under just a little bit of questioning.
So I'm asking you a simple question. When did that happen?
Never did.
Never did. They got the call July 25th. They got the meeting, not in the White House, but in New York on September 25th. They got the money on September 11th. When did the meeting happen again?
Never did.
You don't know who was in the meeting?
Which meeting are you referring to?
The meeting that never happened. Who was in it? You know how Zelensky announced it? Did he tweet it? Did he do a press statement? Did he do a press conference? You know how that happened? I mean, you got all 3 of them wrong. They get the call, they get the meeting, they get the money. It's not 2 + 2, it's 0 for 3. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. And you told Mr. Castor that the president never told you that the announcement had to happen to get anything. In fact, he didn't just not tell you that, he explicitly said the opposite. The gentleman from Texas just read it. You said to the President of the United States, "What do you want from Ukraine?" The President, "I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo. I want Zelensky to do the right thing. I want him to do what he ran on." What did he run on, Ambassador Sunland?
Transparency.
And dealing with corruption, right?
That's right.
Mr. Castor raised another important point. Why didn't you put that statement in your opening statement? I think you said you couldn't fit it in. Is that right? Said we might be here for 46 minutes instead of 45 minutes.
It wasn't purposeful, trust me.
Wasn't purposeful?
No.
Couldn't fit it in a 23-page opener. The most important statement about the subject matter at hand, the President of the United States in a direct conversation with you about the issue at hand, and the President says, let me read it one more time. What do you want from Ukraine, Mr. President? I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo. I want this new guy, brand new guy in politics. His party just took over. I want Zelensky to do the right thing. I want him to run on and do what he ran on, which is deal with corruption. And you can't find time to fit that in a 23-page opening statement.
You know what? My top choice for Time Person of the Year would be Congressman Jim Jordan for so beautifully taking apart all these self-important ambassadors, especially William Taylor, for taking them apart, taking apart their silly hearsay evidence that they presented. My second choice for Time Person of the Year might be surprising to you, but it would be a colleague of Smerconish over at CNN, none other than Fredo Cuomo, for inadvertently proving that Donald Trump was absolutely right when he stated that you can't hear a phone conversation from a few feet away when it's not on a speakerphone.
Mom, can you hear me? All right, so if I were holding the phone here, I'm with Dana Bash. You know how you're always telling me to let her talk because she's so smart and I shouldn't say so much? Can you just say hello? Mom, she probably can't hear me.
And that, my friends, was possibly the exact moment when impeachment just completely fell apart. See you later.
Subscribe to the Dummy Funnies now!
And don't forget to hit that notification bell, please!